just a bloke in a bar.
Parking ticket people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, because near my house, there's places where you can park as long as you want.
Yep.
But I don't ever use my car, so could sit there for a month, 2 months, 3 months in the spot.
Well, because they think it's been abandoned.
Well, they think it's yes or no, yes and no. So basically, it's just sat there for ages, like getting dirty as, leaves all over it for like, would have been 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
Just in that spot. So they sent a letter saying they sent me a letter saying basically, if you don't move this car, we're going to fine you, X amount of dollars, whatever. So I moved it to the other side of the road. And then within like a week of moving it to the other side of the road, they put a sticker on it saying like, we think this car is abandoned, rah, rah. So,
oh, really?
But then I've also got someone else, and I don't know whether it's the ticket person or just a scallywag that keeps putting shit on the car because it sees that it's like, dirty and leaves all over it. Like, 'cause the other day I came, there was like, I'd cleaned leaves off the front of it, came back the next day, leaves like in a big pile as if it's been raked on the windscreen, plus honey for some reason on it.
Okay, well, for some reason, that's it. Unless you've got a disgruntled bee on your hands, it sounds like there's some
Could be a disgruntled bee.
It could be.
It could be a disgruntled bee. It could be a neighbour that's like...
A bee in your bonnet.
It could.
It could be a neighbour who's furious that you left that, dirty car at the front of their house.
I don't think you gave enough credit for bee on your bonnet. I'm just saying it. I think more credit was deserved.
But you were in the zone. You're in the zone.
I mean, like, are you just... Like, you're just leaving basically a car to rot and then just, like, cleaning it?
Well, that's what's funny is, so I was like, I can't do this anymore. Because the way I see it is different. The way I see it is, I live here. You're allowed to park as long as you want. I literally live here, so I should be able to park. It's like, what's the rule?
Yeah.
What's
you
the rules
could
of
technically
engagement?
leave this car here forever.
It's probably more about how you're treating the car, mate.
But like, it's my car, my body, my choice.
Fair call.
No,
it is his body and his choice.
Your body, your choice. Yeah, I get that.
I know you're fans of my body, my choice.
Mm-hmm. Pro-choice.
Pro-choice.
But like leaving your car like that would be like allowing yourself to get bedridden with obesity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Like we're gonna have to
crane you out.
Yeah,
that's your car.
I was
suffering.
My car was just
suffering.
My old Ford Fairmont Ghia, Ronnie Bergs, R.I.P. was still
You killed Ronnie Bergs.
No, I didn't actually.
Yes, you did.
Hey, listen, mate, I didn't.
He couldn't afford the rego. True story.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. That's a different story. No,
times have changed.
Listen.
Put it down.
One of the more disrespectful moments from people generally, or like car people, was he was still fully operational. I used him, and then one day I just saw a sticker on it being like, we'll wreck this car for you. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? This car is a wonderful car. Like, why would you wreck this thing? And then it put it in my brain, and then I couldn't afford to pay the rent.
So they hit you with like, oh, maybe you should go work out.
Exactly. Yeah. Oi, it was like my mum once bought me a gym membership for my birthday.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay. I mean, I thought the car was cool. I thought my body was good. Obviously not.
Obviously not.
Now, did I go to the gym? No, I didn't. Did I get the car wrecked? Yes, I did. It was the most spoilt thing I think I've ever done in my life, where it was like my parents got me the car.
So you're just like, fuck it.
I had it for years, but then I got rid of it for like $300.
Really?
And I look back on that being like spoilt,
entitlement,
yeah,
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so yesterday I said enough's enough, and I gave the car some love. Took it down, got it all cleaned up. The only problem is that it looks like I've sent a message because the only park that was free when I came back at the end of the day. So at the start of the day, I dropped it in, worked all day, came back, got it at 6 o'clock at night.
So you got it detailed,
fully cleaned up, inside and out. Got it back. The only park that was free was the same park. So it looks like I'm sending a message of like, I want to fucking park right here.
Yeah, that's good though, dude. I like this.
I don't want this battle.
I think it's a clean thing, dude. I don't think it's about the park. I think it's about having this fucking heap of shit on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an eyesore.
Yeah, it's an eyesore for people. People like a nice clean street, and they got this car there.
It's like when people like
covered in poop
start hoarding. When people hoard and then the hoarding spills out of their house and into like the front yard, and it's like, hey, dude, hoard on your own time. Like, just keep it inside. Don't bring this shit into the
my
nice
car's being
street.
judged. Like,
it is being judged.
I've seen your car once, where like I've seen it before, but I've only really been up close with it once, and I was like, this thing has not been touched with a chamois or a ShamWow or a hose, maybe ever. And there was a generation of spiders living in your fucking rear vision mirrors, side mirrors. There was like cobwebs all over them. I'm like, this might be like 12th generation family of spiders.
Just a battler, mate. I'm just battling. That's all.
You're not a battler, though.
You're not a battler.
I'm battling.
No.
I bet he didn't even take his car to get detailed. He paid someone.
You're making it look like you don't look after yourself. That you live in squalor. Which couldn't be further from the truth.
No, palatial
Actually, speaking
estate.
of poo getting pooed on, I got pooed on yesterday by a bird.
You got pooed on?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the bird, I think. It is
No, it doesn't depend on the bird. It's just poo from a bird. Good luck.
I think it'd depend on the bird.
It depends on the bird.
What are you talking about? What are you, some fucking bird enthusiast? Oh, that's a macaw shit.
No,
that's
I'm
not
talking
good.
about luck.
Yeah.
It'd have to be bird dependent.
I tell you what, though,
dude, a bird poos
the
on you,
person
good
that came up with is just someone that got shat on a day. Oh, that's lucky. He's got shit on his face.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's really
Good
good
omen
luck.
for the fucking seagulls.
Well,
though,
the,
getting shit on a bird.
That's a great omen for the
Yeah, it
seagulls.
is.
Oh,
It is.
wow.
We've actually got to do. We've realised as it comes to rugby
do that at the
league.
Sabo.
Yeah, we will. This is a rugby league show for those of you that don't know. But we realise now one of the things that we've been failing to do is sit down with each other and just go through the week that was and just scour it for omens. Just do a bit of omen panning, you know? Like,
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that we're going to bring to our repertoire today, just for gambling reasons, responsible gambling reasons.
Yes, of course.
But we're going to have to start panning for omens.
Panning for omens.
Yeah.
Like the patenry that you did last week, which is incredible.
Well, that was
Quality.
patenry,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
to be confused
Of
with
course.
omenry.
Of
Not the
course.
same
Patenry,
thing.
research required. Omenry, it's more about just excavating, your life a little bit.
Like maybe your mate will tell you that he got shat on by a bird 24 hours
We
out
missed
from
an
a
omen
game of
last
rugby
week.
league.
You know that young kid who scored for the Bulldogs? He's in Preston or Presta.
Yeah, Jacob Preston.
Preston. The week before that, when we were at the Manly game, all his fucking mates were there with T-shirts of his face on it.
That's an omen.
Yeah, we missed it.
And you missed it. Far out. Well, what have you got any omens this week then, outside of me getting shit on yesterday?
Well, that's certainly one. Again, we haven't panned
No,
for
we
them
haven't
yet.
panned.
It's you got to really sit down and mull things over.
Yeah, okay.
Because you
Live
will have
stream
missed
night,
them.
actually. Hello Sport YouTube, Scope and Mason joining us.
Correct.
Side note. But no, we got to pan for some moments.
Speaking of live streams, and you've got an opportunity here to explain, because you nearly got cancelled last week by the punters and dribblers because.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm going to give you the floor.
Yeah, no, that's good. So for those of you that don't know, last week I was deathly ill.
Most people don't know, trust me.
No. Very sick. Shout out to Evie and Zoe.
Yeah, but passing the buck, but all right.
No, well, listen. I mean, that's
It's
just what
supposed
it
to be
is, right?
accountability chat.
Yeah, I was sick. I had, and what you will hear is the after effects, the echoes of illness, which still rest within my chest. I've got a cough. I'm drinking some Croatian sort of poo juice that my mother-in-law makes to help get it better. But last week there was DMP and there was the live stream, and obviously the live element,
Obviously.
Well, like the live.
Damn, that hurt.
The live nature of the
It's
live
all right.
stream. It's like, listen, am I going to leave Eddie Street and Jarch on a live stream? I honestly, if I had the absolute choice, punters and dribblers, I would have done none of it. But I would have been laying in bed at home knowing that Eddie and Jarch and Street are on a live stream, probably a little liquored up, and
What about poor Beak that was
Mate, I left you in the very incapable hands of Edward Simpson. I called in as you requested. I gave it the Burmo bump. They heard I was on.
The Burma.
And then I went back to bed.
How much do you reckon the Burma bumps were?
Not much.
Not much. Not much. Probably it's a negative carry, really.
Yeah.
It's a negative carry.
Burma bump. I like that.
Yeah. You want to lose 7 meters, 7 or 8 meters on a carry? It's the Burmo bump.
The Burmo bump.
100%.
Oh, that's great. Oh, you're going to die now. That's karma.
Mayo.
That's karma, and
That's
it's also
mayo.
fake.
That's mayo.
Yeah.
That's a
Buzz over
You
there.
can you can force a
checked.
cough out.
Yeah.
You can push a cough out.
No, you can't force one like that.
Yes, you
dude.
can. Like forcing a fluff. You can force them out.
Yeah, but you can't force phlegm. You can't force phlegm.
You
ladies
can
and
force
gentlemen.
them
I
out.
tell you
Can't
what, this
force
is
phlegm.
fucking award-winning podcasting, coughing into mics.
I know, I'm
I reckon
really
people
sorry.
froth it.
Yeah, is everyone frothing this? Are you all
enjoying
frothing it?
In the car going, fucking shut up.
Dude, every podcast I've done since last week, I'm constantly having to lean away and cough in the background.
You know what? One of my real weaknesses, and honestly feels like I'm destined to not be a podcaster, is I always got to clear my throat, man.
You do clear your throat.
I know a lot, and it fucking pisses
Is that
me
a
off.
tick?
No, it's definitely not a tick. It's when I eat dairy, but I've tried to stay away from dairy, and it's not as bad when I don't eat dairy, but it's
Have
still.
you got a real dairy problem? that we don't know about.
Yeah. It's gone from muesli bars to just.
I can see him. I can see him peeling those little cheese sticks. You know, those, what were they called?
String cheese or whatever.
Yeah, the stringers, and there was like little stringy man.
Yeah, all those baby bells, those little ones in the red wax.
Yes, they're great.
They are good.
They're really good.
They're nice.
Oh, your classic Le Scoop.
Le Snack.
Le Snack.
Maybe there was a Le Scoop. I don't know. That could be like your.
There might have been.
version.
Is that where we're?
No, look, I'd like to pass the buck. I'm not a pass the buck guy, but I'm going to pass the buck here. My wife does have a dairy problem. She eats so much cheese, brie cheese, all that stuff.
Dude, it's good stuff. How do you say no to cheese?
Boom, exactly. So how do I say no as a loving husband when my wife wants to enjoy some beautiful cheese?
You've got to be better.
Yeah.
It's like Ella fucking kicking up a fuss when I'm eating a nice box of shapes and she's like, you know I can't say no to shapes. Why do you buy them? And I go, not my problem, sweetheart. Not my problem.
Shapes are hard to say no to, seriously. What are you
Impossible.
rolling? What flavour?
I roll pizza, barbecue.
Pizza or barbecue? On an island?
Honestly, it depends.
Okay.
It's mood.
It is mood.
All mood?
Because
I will
pizza
say
is
this.
like
I'll
just
say this. If it's a nice hot summer's day, I'm probably inclined to go pizza. Fair income.
Barbecue's spicy,
Barbecue,
right? So you need to be in
it's a
spicy
bit
mood.
more winter work. Barbecue, I'd say.
What about the texture difference? Though, 'cause
I don't mind
barbecue it's not as hard of a surface. Whereas
I like the
pizza
coarse nature of the pizza shape. I think the barbecue is obviously fantastic, and I'm assuming, Eddie, and I think correctly, you're eating an entire box of whatever you choose.
There's never been an occasion, Thomas, in my life, and this is on my family, that I haven't put away a whole box.
Exactly.
Boxes do not go back into the cupboard.
No.
And shout out to those at Arnott's for coming up with the perfect amount.
Yeah.
Because it's decadent.
Yeah.
It's over the top.
But not make
You're
you sick.
indulging.
But they also don't fuck you. Like if you see
But
like
they won't
packs of
fuck you.
chips where it's mostly air, the shapes portion of whatever this business is, the shapes arm, they give you fucking bang for buck.
Yeah,
But
bang for buck.
Pizza shapes, I think, is more of an everyday indulgence. Like I could eat pizza shapes at any point, at any time. Barbecue, because it's a slight more spice to
It'll
it.
give you a...
Yeah. It'll give you one of those.
One of those ones.
Yeah, so you just got to be a bit more, it's a bit more mood-based for barbecue. But I'll eat them if they're in front
I'll
of me.
also eat chicken crimpy. Fucking oath.
I will,
But
but they're too salty.
they are salty, and that's what draws me to them. But yeah, I mean, you'll meet people in your travels, Denon, who fuck very differently to you. There's cheddar operators out there.
No,
there are savoury operators out there,
That's
and there's
disgraceful.
plenty of them.
I tell you what, I don't mind. I prefer probably a cheese and bacon to a crimpy.
Cheese and bacon always. I didn't love the aftertaste. Like, you know, like 20 minutes later, you go, ooh.
It's a bit.
That cheese and bacon's still with me.
manufactured.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it.
No.
Obviously.
Look, most shapes, they're palatable, but I'm pretty loyal, man. It's either pizza or barbecue, and that's it. Go home kind of stuff.
Remember when the Arnott's executives sat down and they tried to fucking bullshit the punter and the dribbler by like, we did fucking research studies and everyone said that they wanted the flavour baked in. I'm like, that was clearly a price decision.
Yeah. Don't try and wool pull.
And if you don't bring them back, you're fucked. And that's exactly what they did. And now it's got like original all over the box because of the shocker they
We're
played.
sorry.
They tried to wool pull the punter and the dribbler.
I'm like, there is not a person alive
Or dead.
that if given the option between the originals and this new bullshit they brought out would pick the new bullshit. No one would have. So I'm
Agreed.
like, don't roll out focus group bullshit to me.
Yeah.
Because it's a flat out lie.
How do you get in a focus group?
I wouldn't mind being
You got to be.
one.
I think you got to be particularly focused.
Do you get paid though?
I think you do.
Surely.
They give you a Ritalin? You know what I mean?
No,
Is that
I
sort
think.
of- or
I
it's gotta be
think. No, I
naturally
think you need to be
focused?
naturally focused. I don't think people that advanced shit don't get a run.
That's fair. Like, I mean, if it's
That
got a
is fair.
focus group, like you can't. I know it's all that inclusivity these days, but like you can't have a focus group with people that aren't focused, right? Like that just doesn't seem to make sense.
You could have an inclusive focus group though, but the results would be pretty weird.
Well, it'd be everyone's like fucking running around the room. And
It's like
shit,
you answering questions that aren't even there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we brought you in to talk about Arnott's and you're talking about fucking beer.
Yeah, some kid's playing with like a bug in the corner of the room. You're like, dude, you're not focused.
Did you realise it was called a focus group?
Got a baby in the corner. Well, just want to be inclusive.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Mate, babies, they always say that they work on instinct, and we as we grow, we get further away from our instinct.
That is
So
what they say.
babies are like,
The most
You know,
focused of all.
yeah. Well,
Well, they're mostly instinctive. Not necessarily
Instinctive.
focused.
Okay.
I
the
can
closest to
fucking-
the natural world, maybe.
Yeah.
The rest of the natural world. Don't know.
I always see, those
Lots to
comments
digest.
on Instagram where like a kid will say something profound and like they've clearly been coached by their mum or dad or whatever. A kid will say something profound and then in the comments it'll be like we need to get closer to our inner child and shit. And you're like, we definitely don't. Because when I was a child, I was eating fucking poo off the ground.
Yeah. Zoe was eating shells this morning at the beach. I don't know that she is exactly the person you want to be leaning on for, like, you know, direction.
There is a freedom to the inner child, but yeah, I don't know how practical it is.
No, I think they're probably
The kids aren't out there fucking, you know, buying houses and shit. You know what I mean? Paying bills.
Unless you're a
driving
child
cars.
star.
I'll tell you what, there'd be a few banks that would love kids to sign some mortgages.
Yeah. Getting them early.
Get them early when they're 1.
Yeah.
Get them in the door.
Actually, do
Bloody
you
red
know
tape
what
stops
mortgage
that
actually means? Could you Google it? I think it means something pretty like, ugh, when you actually know the Latin
The etymology.
etymology. There you go. I like that, etymology.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
That was a big win from you there.
Yeah.
You may have made up for last week, but you're like brushing it.
Well,
Are you Devo?
About last week.
Yeah.
Like, I would say I'm Devo, but I'm used to it.
Like when you saw him in the live stream, were you like, what the fuck?
I was like, he doesn't look that sick. If you had have walked in like bandaged up, I would have been like, okay, fair enough.
listen, dude.
But you were like drinking tequila, yelling, laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I was sick, I didn't drink tequila, that's for sure.
But I had to drink tequila. And also, I don't know if you know this. This is a do your own research, but I have done my own research, and they say that hard spirits good for sickness, which is why, as well, not to be all Croatian, but that is, you know, my wife's family. They have this fucking drink called rakia, which is like really hectic, like rocket fuel. And they have it every morning. And that sounds alcoholic, but it's not. It's just, as in, like, they just have a little sip of it in the morning. And it's meant to keep you healthy.
This is the third time you've mentioned this Croatian heritage. I like
dude,
it.
well, listen, man, I can't help that, you know, my wife's Croatian.
He has no Croatian heritage.
The shirt with the chest
Let's be clear. He has zero Croatian heritage.
Hey, dude,
Oh, okay.
I'm closer
None.
to Croatian than you are.
Absolutely not.
Closer than you are.
Matty?
Genetically, I'm probably closer.
No, genetically, my offspring are Croatian, so I'm closer.
No,
Yeah.
because that's not you.
Well, they are me. They're part me.
They're part you. You're not part them.
Are you
Yes,
going
I
to be like... Are you going to be like...
Their Croatian side is from Steph, not you, bruh. Fucking hell.
Are you going to say that you've got, like, essentially migrant kids because they're from... They're Croatian?
Yeah. Well, it's a way to become, you know.
10th generation migrants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a way to lose friends, I think, if you started walking around telling people you were migrants.
Well, migrant family.
I always say to the missus...
You can't be a
every time-
migrant if you were born here.
You can probably find a way to spin it.
Every time me and my wife would go to this, like when we first met, when we'd go to the airport, I'd always take let's take a photo outside the Sydney sign, and then I'd put on Instagram. They finally caught up to the missus. She's been deported. What do you got there? What's mortgage, man?
Fuck, this is morbid. So the word comes from Old French mortgage, literally dead pledge. More dead, gage, pledge. According to the online dictionary, is so called because the deal dies when the debt is paid or when the payment fails. But yeah, it means dead pledge.
Yeah, that's dark.
That is dark.
That's as dark as it gets. I don't have a mortgage yet, and I am kind of happy about that. Like, there's a part of me that would enjoy living in a van, but then there's another part of me that would enjoy living in a house. So I'm conflicted.
You living in a van.
Yeah.
That's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard.
Dude, could you imagine? I tell you, so not with
What are you on about,
Not with
bro?
my family, obviously, but when you cruise down Bondi and you see all those fucking,
That's not you at all.
vagrants, they just open up.
That's not you at all.
They open up the back of the van and they're just looking at the water on the bloody vegan
my
cigarettes
God.
in the back of their van.
Mate.
Just nip down to
That's
the
one
water.
of your best.
Yeah.
That's one of your best. You living in a van?
Give me that van life, dude.
Yeah.
Give me that van life.
Nothing you have done
I'll
in our
bathe in a
friendship
river.
to date has given any indication that you're like pro van life, except for the fact that you slept on the mattress they used in cots. That's for babies.
Yeah, dude.
For about
That's
2
where
years.
I got the taste of the van life. I've been too busy to be able to go in and, you know, pursue my dreams.
Oh, fuck.
I don't have time to live in a van.
The thing that I think that would do my head in most about van life would be hot nights, hot muggy nights,
Yep.
and like not having a fucking shower all the time. Locked
Or a
in.
shitter.
You shit anywhere though. if you have
Well,
to.
yeah, you're not really.
Just anywhere. Fuck it.
Yeah, just fucking do it. Shit,
Dog poo, that's
pull
human
the pants
poo.
down and fucking go for it.
You can't. Put it
what
this
San
way: it's
Francisco's
harder
like
to get
now.
a freshwater shower than it is to just shit on the side of the road.
Well, of course that. Of course. Well,
What?
of
So that's
course.
why the order of preference.
Why do we allow dogs to shit wherever they want, but humans can't?
It's a great question. It's a fair question.
Like, what's the
Because, like, I mean,
difference?
if I just pick it up in a plastic bag,
Yeah, and it's
play
just,
on.
it's something pooing. It's another.
It's a
everybody
great. It's a
poos.
great point. It's a great point.
you could just start wearing nappies as well.
Like, if you saw someone doing a shit in a flower bed on the side of the road, you'd be mortified.
Yeah, you would.
But
Again, unless you live in San Fran.
if
where
you're covered
apparently
in
it happens all the time.
fur and you got 4 legs, it's
And you're
play
cute.
on.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Like, you
discriminatory
give puppy
against
eyes when you
humans.
do it.
Oh, shit.
What if you dress in a dog suit? Just get like a dog suit. If you need to poo in public, get a dog suit and just go and take a shit in a park.
What about this? When did pooing in front of each other become uncouth?
Good point.
That's a great point.
Because it's like
Because
it's a
one,
natural
like
bodily
it would have
function.
been good to go.
Well,
And then some bloody tight ass
Some pearl
or
clutcher.
some
Yeah, pearl clutcher.
clutcher. Pearl clutcher, that's right. Said no. That
Now,
won't do
I
it.
mean-
uncouth.
well, you could say though, look, and again, I'm not a big smell guy, as everyone may know, but like pooing generally something that I imagine even like in caveman days that you probably determined, you don't want to shit where you eat. You're probably not pooing right next to the campsite. So maybe you just go and like
I'm not-
have a little, that's just, you gotta listen to me here. You go away from the campsite to poo, right? Maybe it's a hole that you've dug as a camp together, which is where you go poo. Now, maybe there was a time where you used to go in groups like, oh, you want to nip off and have a shit together? Like maybe that was play on.
It's like when
And
girls go to the
then-
bathroom.
Yes.
Girls do that.
They go to the bathroom all
Yeah.
the time together.
But then the pearl clutches came, it started and it was like, I'm going to poo by myself, dude. And you're like, okay, whatever. I'm still going to go poo with Denon. You can go and poo by yourself.
Girls still poo together.
So they're looking at each other, pooing, and going, what do you reckon about the wallabies out the back
yeah,
there?
those wallabies, eh? Or like the economy of the time.
Oh, local trading.
Well, think about like an airport shitter. There's like 12 of them lined up, and there's just a little
Gap between.
gap.
Dude,
I always
shitters in Japan, whilst there's some like, it's like sometimes it's like pooing in the future because you're like shitting on a rocket because they've got like all these like, somehow that like the water spray for your butthole, like it doesn't matter who you are, where you sit, how big you are, it finds your asshole.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
does
gets
it?
you. Yeah, dude, it finds it like a beacon. But they are the smallest. But I was taking a dump. If you're listening, then go to the YouTube in Japan, and it was just like just a normal place, and the door was so close to me that I was sitting on it like this, like my legs were up against the door, and I'm having to sit like this to take a shit. I'm like, I'd be better off in a flower bed.
But
Maybe
you
they
wouldn't get
should
that
put-
spray of water though.
It's you know what? When it first hits you, you're like, this is too much, and then you let go of that feeling, and you're like, I'm in.
Would you get one? What are they called?
Bidet.
Bidets. Would you get a bidet in a home?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I
it
always
wouldn't be
raise
something
I always
I'm
raise a
dying for.
cursory eyebrow when I walk into someone's home and they've got a bidet.
I told
Next
you
to
how
the toilet. I'm
yeah.
like,
I told you how TB Brownie,
interesting.
my mate, when he went over to Europe to play footy, he was washing his clothes in the bidet for the first 2 weeks he was there. He didn't know.
There's a bloke that could live in a van.
Yeah, he didn't know. He said, I Skyped him, he showed me around the house. He goes, what do you think this is? And I go, it's a fucking bidet. He's like, I've been washing my clothes in that for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Yeah.
why would he wash his clothes in that?
Because he thought it was where you wash your clothes. Right next to the shitter, apparently, is where
That's what I mean.
where the Italians wash their clothes.
Anyway, we've figured that out now.
Yeah, good to get that.
The history of shitting and why dogs are allowed to and we're not to.
Yep.
Not allowed to. Bloke and Ringers Western country tour. I'm sure the boys at Ringers Western will love that transition. You know what? Andy would actually love it. Andy would actually like that transition. So this Friday we will be at Rockhampton at 6 p.m. at the Great Western Hotel. Myself, Timmy, Guru, Maddie. Make sure to be there, guys. It's the second last stop of the regional tour. It's 6 p.m. local time. It's a live show. We've had incredible times at Wagga and Armidale. So make sure to get down. Come say hi. Even if it's for an hour, shake a hand so we can have a chat, say thanks for being a part of the community, and have a few beers and enjoy the footy. That's 6 p.m. the Great Western Hotel in Rockhampton. Also, Bloke and Ringers Club is now available on the Ringers website. Country Bloke work shirts. We've got caps, Country Bloke caps, and we've also got T-shirts on the Ringers website. Head over there, grab some Ringers/Bloke merch. Yes, sir.
I just want everyone to know something before we move on. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
I spilt water on myself. I'm not leaking out of my tits.
You are a mess.
I spilt water on myself.
Like a mess.
I'm
I looked at him
hydrating.
like, you are a disgrace.
You're my car.
I don't know that this is disgraceful.
You are his car.
Yeah, you're my car.
That's fucked up. That is fucked up. It's a little bit of water. I just wanted everyone to know because the last time you saw me,
You're spitting and
I had a dry
spluttering
shirt.
and,
Yeah.
you know,
It doesn't
shit
cover his
everywhere.
mouth.
I just wanted to let everyone know I do.
Getting
come
everyone
out. How dare you.
sick. We'll all be
You
bloody
gotta start
sick.
covering your mouth, I think, mate.
Fuck you.
I almost think that he's been covering spluttering with reckless abandon and mouth open sort of
Intentional.
shit to try and get us sick to prove a point.
Yeah,
but
to
it's
prove
not
a point.
working.
And like to kind of say, hope that we miss next week so he can see Boys, you know, use a sock.
he's trying to give us what he's got.
Yeah.
And
I've been
it's-
covering.
It ain't working.
I've been
not
covering
working.
my mouth. How dare you?
You know what? It's not working. A, my immune system is stronger than yours.
Too late.
And B, even if it did happen, I would pretend it didn't.
Listen, what I am dealing with right now is a long play because you two losers don't have kids yet, and that's fine. But the long play
Are we getting
is,
kid shame now?
I'm just waiting. I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm like a sea monkey in suspended animation. I'm just waiting for that water to get poured in, and then I'm like, fucking, here you go, sucked in. You've got kids now, and you're sick every second week. Fuck you. So I'm just
My dad didn't get sick when we had us
Oh, I
kids.
bet you
My
did.
dad
No,
literally
I bet
has
you
the
did.
record
No, he didn't.
at his work for having the least amount of days off.
That's because he's a
in
tough
40 years.
bastard. That's not because he didn't get sick.
Yeah.
Didn't get sick.
Didn't
Nah.
get sick.
Well,
I honestly don't recall him ever getting sick. The only thing he got sick of was my shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can
People with
understand that.
people with a weak immune systems get sick.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm a
That's
sea
it.
monkey, dude. I'm a sea monkey in a
And
packet
when
on
you
a
read
shelf.
on tank water like myself and Edward,
Suspended
You know what I was
animation.
thinking about the other day? Because you were fucking rich cunt growing up. You probably didn't go to daycare. You would have had like butlers and nannies and shit. That's so you never got
I
the
went to
immunity. That's
daycare,
why.
dog. I went to daycare.
I don't think so.
Gumnut, bro. That was the name of it.
No, I don't
Sucked
reckon.
in.
Yeah, I
Wrecked.
reckon.
Wrecked.
Gumnut would have been a little shed down the back you built.
But
for
they
you
all
and the
would have been
nannies.
all clean and like
Yeah.
like dead old when they walked
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
we walked in, people covered in poo.
Yeah.
Diseases everywhere.
Yeah.
He had to wear like a tuxedo to fuck.
Yeah, dude. I did have to wear a tux.
Baby tux.
Baby
What's the
tux.
dress code? Yeah, baby tux.
No, you have to wear. It's black tie.
Black tie. Black tie. I reckon
that.
that. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, that's probably
Yeah.
why.
That
Yeah.
does make sense.
yeah.
That does make. That's a really good insight there.
No, that is
that's
good.
2 for 2 now. The pattern last week, and then
Yeah.
realizing why he has a week of immune
Yeah.
system.
Yeah,
Because I was just in baby tuxes.
that's right. Dude.
Oh fuck!
That's-
Bottle special. Bloke Lager is still on special across all Bottle stores in New South Wales. On special across all Thirsty Camel stores in Queensland. So get yourself a case of lager for $53. Holy! Get onto the store locator on our website and find the nearest Bottle to you. Don't forget, if they don't stock it, just walk in politely. They're probably sold out. Get them to order more. That is every Bottle in New South Wales currently on special, and also every Thirsty Camel currently on special. $53. Holy heckers! Now, on to the biggest news of the week. NRL new concussion protocols. Basically, you get a Cat 1, Category 1. You have a mandatory 11-day stand down following a diagnosed concussion. What do you boys think? Natural, I guess, progression in this everything that's going on?
Yeah, it's like, I get it. I fully get it. I fully understand it. I understand why it's reasonable and important and all that. I am also like, this is not going to get any better.
I know, it
like,
sounds like it's gonna get worse and
gonna
worse
get
and
worse and worse and worse. I heard a dude on the AFL 360, which I accidentally clicked on last night and watched the sort of a little bit of. And he, what's his fucking name? I can't remember. But he had some massive concussions as well. And obviously they've got like a class action happening now. He was saying that he thinks, because there's like global convention is actually like 26 days. And he's like, yeah, that's what I reckon. 26 days.
26 days.
Yeah, and he'd had like significant concussions, and he was saying that even though he'd recovered, the heightened intensity of pre-game and like whatever it sort of did to him mentally, it was like he found it very difficult to deal with. And it was only after like that sort of amount of time where he's like, yeah, he reckons that's the least amount of time. So to me, it seems like there's going to be a point where either it's going to become too difficult to play the fucking game, or whether you need to sign like some sort of ironclad airtight contract where it's like, you know what you're getting into when you come into this. And maybe you have an option of like 11 days, or you could stay out for longer if you're concerned. But like there does become a point where the game seems to become untenable if you have to sit out
Just gotta. I think the end point is you've got to accept that. Like, let's take precaution for sure. Like, I think the 11 days is reasonable. Make the squads bigger, but there has to be a line in the sand where we go, guys. If you play this sport, you're going to get brain trauma.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that every NRL player knows that now. So
yes. I can understand maybe the guys in the past, again, who are going like, fuck, we didn't know. But you
neither
ask
did the
most of them,
AFL.
they go, we still would play.
Yeah.
They all say they'd play,
Yeah.
generally speaking.
Yeah, but it's like the no one knew. It was only, early 2000s when...
That's what I don't entirely understand, how they can be liable, reach out lawyers for free, how you can be liable if no one knew.
Well, that's the issue with the NFL is they did know and they hid it, whereas there's no evidence that the AFL and NRL that I know of knew about this and was hiding it.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's going to get to the point where...
It's a tough call because people had no idea. Like, you got knocked out back in the day, a few sniffing salts up, you get, bruh.
Get up, you pussy.
play on.
When I got knocked out or concussed or whatever, it would literally lift my jersey back up and send me out. Like, it literally send me out to the wing.
When I got concussed playing first 15 as well, they just picked me up and I just kept playing. Then I dislocated my knee and went off. So probably a good deal.
Probably a good deal.
Yeah.
But you're right, Tom. 11 days may just be the start of this thing,
I
right?
know.
Which is pretty crazy. Do you think there's anything they could do, Denon, to change tackling technique, or is this it is what it is?
I think it is what it is, mate.
Right.
Look, you could. I spoke to Cairns Smith about it yesterday in regards to. I was like, mate, think of all the smaller Cairns Smith.
Okay.
Yeah. Think of the smaller hookers in the game. Now, I don't have any stats on it, but my vibe is that the hookers don't actually get concussed as much as, say, a forward. And is it because they've learnt to tackle?
They don't seem to, do they?
Yeah. Is it because they've learnt to tackle much better than everyone else because of their size? And so is that an area where we go, like, we research in, okay, well, what are the hookers doing differently to everyone else? I think that the difference is most hookers aren't expected to make dominant tackles, whereas forwards are expected to dominate the ruck every single time. So I just think it's going to get to a point where I said it on a few weeks ago, but the problem with sign this saying that you know the dangers is, and I had no pushback from any lawyers. Now, lawyers probably don't listen to the potty, but please let me know if I'm wrong. The problem with putting a contract in front of a player and saying, these are the dangers, sign it, is you are 100% admitting that the dangers exist then. So you're basically saying, we give players brain damage. Like, as a company, we give you brain damage. Again, lawyers, let us know if I'm wrong. And so that's the argument against making players sign it. But I think it's just going to get to
How would that
point.
be any different to being like a cigarette company, a tobacco company going, this gives you cancer? And you buying it, they don't get sued, as far as I know.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Surely should be getting sued out of existence if that was the case.
Can't you sign
It literally says on the
anti-indemnity
fucking
clauses and shit? Isn't that, and this isn't going down some fucking COVID path, but like the whole thing with the vaccine was that like the fucking companies, they didn't have but there's like anti-indemnity clauses, right? So if there's some sort of adverse thing, you can't go and fucking sue the company who's given the vaccine. Isn't it a similar sort of thing where it's just like
indemnity insurance?
Yeah, well, it's an anti-indemnity clause, I think, where it's just like you are responsible. We're not responsible for anything that happens to you.
Right.
I think maybe the difference might be is like this is a working environment, whereas that's a
and they're
personal
employed.
choice, maybe.
Are they? They're employees.
Yeah, they're employed.
Yeah.
Or contractors, technically. I think.
How the fucking
Maybe
UFC
that's
do
probably
it?
the difference.
Because UFC are independent contractors.
They're
the
contractors.
fighters?
They're
Yeah.
contractors, and they'd have to have their own.
I guess it'd
be
literally kicking people in the head.
Yeah, and also it'd be set up so that they're independent contractors that have to have their own fucking health insurance and shit, which they'd then pay for on their behalf. You know what I mean?
Well, UFC don't pay health insurance.
I know, which is wild.
Or like, well, surely they'd have to have some sort of, or maybe America's
don't.
different. It's a wild west.
Whereas here you
got to have workers' comp, right? You have
I think
to
in
have
UFC, it's like if you get, say, like a broken nose in a fight, they will fix it for you. I think there's something like that maybe where,
right?
But I don't know.
But that contractor thing would be 100% to go. Not a problem, bro.
Separate.
Yeah, 100%. It's an interesting time we're living in, and they were talking on Fox League last night on NRL 360. Like this 11-day number, if you get a concussion in a prelim, you're going to miss the grand final, and that will happen, and that's going to be pretty fucking wild.
That's where I think you could have extenuating circumstances where you go, listen, dude.
Not if you get knocked out on the field. There is
no. I know. Joey Johns, heard of him? He was talking about on
Goes
Freddie
playable
in the
time.
8th. he was saying in relation to Ponga, he was like, well, he was talking about him and Matty, and he was like in the backyard playing backyard footy, and he was like, mate, like I reckon probably made like 25,000 tackles before I played professional rugby league. He was like, that's what all I did when I was like playing backyard footy. He's like, Ponga was a fucking prodigy. He played golf, he played AFL, like he did all this different shit. He was like, and he was fullback his whole career. He's like, the kid's just not made enough tackles growing up. So like he doesn't have good tackle technique. I'm sort of like, how do you get to fucking professional rugby league without?
No. Well, he fucking look right now.
Well,
Didn't
that's
even know
true,
how to tackle.
actually.
Well, look up how many tackles Ponga's made in his career. You'd be able to work it
We
out.
spoke about that on the Monday podcast. Is like people tried to make there was some people making the claims of like 5'8" has the least amount of injuries or head knocks or whatever, but it's not like a good comparison because you're taking a fullback that's been a fullback for his whole career and putting him in the front line. He wouldn't have made anywhere near the amount of tackles, which improves his technique, knows where to put his head. I'm not saying that's the reason why he got knocked out on the weekend, but you would have to argue that the more you do something, the better you get at it. Like, and defence is one of those things. Like, forwards are better tacklers usually than wingers. Wingers are usually probably the worst tacklers in the team. And why is that? Boom. Yep.
This guy,
me.
They don't make any.
Because they don't make any, and they miss most they try to make.
Yep.
do you know how many you made in your entire career? Like, you would be able to check that, wouldn't you?
Not many. You'd probably be able to check it, but definitely not many. Honestly,
First man in tackles.
like
Yeah.
NRL career,
Yeah.
20?
maybe. Maybe. Seriously.
That's fucking
What do you
Maybe
mean?
more.
Ponga's made 397 NRL tackles.
And who compare
not
that?
many,
Compare
is
that
it?
to
Like a hooker, like last year, Damien Cook made 1,200 in 1 year.
and he's made 350 in his career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's just
Wow.
just NRL. And so the argument is like that's I guess the danger is like you've got defenders that are genuinely done it so many times that they're really good at it, and then you've got guys that are still learning. Like they're still, and he's also going to get so much traffic down there. So I don't know, man. I feel sorry for Ponga because maybe I'm reading into things, but I kind of felt like as soon as you see him walking off, you could see he knew the backlash, not the backlash, but he knew
what was coming.
He knew what was
Yeah.
coming. This huge wave of
Media
media
storm.
of everyone talking about his personal
Yep.
struggles and his personal stuff.
And then it doesn't help that they've announced these new concussion protocols the week after.
I know,
It just
I know.
puts more. It just puts Ponga
Connects
under.
the two.
Yeah, connects the two. Exactly right. He needs to sit out. He's going to what? They're talking like 4 weeks, I think,
Mate,
something like that. But then my concern for him is that concussions ruled him out of the back half of last season, which was
He already had a break. Like,
6 months ago.
He had
That was a long
huge
time
off
ago.
season, and then in the first 2 rounds, he's been done twice. Now,
Correct.
round one, maybe it wasn't really, but like in the first 2 rounds after
Well,
a huge
even
layoff.
if you ignore round one, he still gets concussion round 2 after 6 months off, or 5 months off, or whatever it was.
Yeah, back to your point of feeling bad for him. He posted on his Instagram a couple of hours ago, and he just said, "Whatever will be, will be. Appreciate everyone." So he seems
he's in a headspace of like very not nihilistic, but like that's a headspace of
That's and that's not to make this up like a bit eat, pray, lovey sort of vibes. Like he's just sort of
he's all
spiritual.
about the eat, pray, love.
That's some spiritual
He's
shit.
vibey.
I like that.
But like, it's just hard to talk about. It's such a personal thing for him. I know, like when Boyd was going through it, he said the hardest thing for him was the fact that everywhere he went, people would ask him, how's your head? When are you coming back?
Fuck, who's good? That seems like quite a forward thing to do.
He just said everywhere he
guess
went, and then he'd look at TV, it'd be him getting knocked out, and he said it was so. Just he couldn't escape it. It was everywhere, and so it's hard to talk about the KP situation. I just, like I said on Monday, whatever is best for him. If it's 300 games, that's best for his happiness, and he has the best life that way. Sweet. If he never plays again, and that's best for his life and happiness that way. Sweet. Like
It is what it is, as he said.
Yeah.
No, he said
What'll be, will be.
Oh, but it is what it is.
Well, no, he didn't say that.
I'm saying it is what it is.
No,
is
that's- you
there a
said
difference
he said
between it'll be what it be
Yeah, and
and
then
it
you
is what it
corrected
is?
me, and now I'm
Okay.
saying, well, that's
Now
what I'm
you're just
saying.
it, right.
Do you reckon there's a difference between what will be, and the is what it is?
Not really.
No, I think there is a little bit.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, so what will be is more of the unknown. I don't know what will be, but whatever that is, what will be will be. Whereas it is what it is, it's already happened. Like,
It's more
you're
a tense
referring-
thing.
But
Yeah,
It's just a tense thing.
But
So
you
it's
could
different.
say like, how
It's
do
the
you?
same thing, but you're saying it. I'm saying it now, in the now, and
Yeah.
you're talking about the future.
So
But you
that's
could
different.
go okay.
It's a
you're gonna
tense.
you're gonna win the grand final. If you're gonna win the grand final, it is what it is. You could say that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
no,
you're saying
no.
about something in the future, whatever it is, it is.
Sort
I
of.
think it is what it is.
More present tense.
It's more present tense.
No,
Whatever
So
will
it's
be,
like-
will be is what. Come
So
what may.
like, you know, if I go down to the
Is that
beach,
different?
Come
Okay,
what
so-
may is same as what it will be. It will be. Whatever.
So-
come what may is the same as
Whatever will be, will be.
correct. And it is what it is the same as
So
your own
when
research.
would you roll? Okay.
does that make sense?
It makes plenty of sense. Plenty of sense.
So it's basically a tense-based issue,
okay.
and that's what confused me.
Yep.
Yeah.
My
That's
tenses.
okay. Tense can fuck you up.
Oh, tense can fuck you up, punters and dribblers. Remember that. But thoughts and prayers with Ponga. Thoughts and
Great
prayers.
Ponga. He's such a superstar in the game too. Like the amount of young kids that he would have got into the game. Like anyway, hopefully whatever.
Do
is
you
best for
think
him.
putting him back to fullback is an option?
I've always said that. I don't want to be the hindsight hero that says like, oh yeah, now they should put him back. See, look what happened.
No, but you were always like,
I was always-
even when his move was just being
Yeah.
spoken about, it was like, you were pro fullback. But do you think now he should be, even though all of his concussions to date outside of this one have
Well, the
come at
problem
fullback?
is like, then they're basically saying, oh, he's going to get knocked out in the front line, and it's like, well,
they're minimising his chances of
Yeah.
getting knocked out.
But if you keep getting knocked out in the front line, then
he's
that's
getting knocked
exactly
out at
what they're
fullback.
saying.
I know. Well, that's the problem. Is like some people say, well, he was getting knocked out. He was getting concussed, at fullback. So what's the difference? But I do think if you're in the front line, you're increasing the likelihood quite substantially.
Yeah.
I think we've just got to wait and see.
It is what it is.
Come what may.
Come what may.
What will be, will be.
Come what may. But you hope to fucking Christ that it doesn't become like a Will Pekowski. You're not a big cricket guy, but he's
thought I was.
he was a young prodigy, Victorian, opened the batting for the nation
I knew that.
on a couple of occasions,
Yeah. I knew that.
and just got. I think he's had 12 concussions now,
Something. He's been hit.
something
he's been
like that.
Fucking hit in
And
the
they
head.
just kept basically to the point where it sounds like,
has some
and
time
if he
off
gets
now,
hit in the
isn't it?
head, it's done, like concussion
no.
immediately. You know what I mean?
That's sad.
Hopefully that's not what happens with KP.
Hopefully not. Now, James Tedesco extends his contract by a year until 2025. Recent reports and speculation that the Roosters would need to pick between Tedesco and Suoli'i as to who would be their fullback 2024. But now Teddy has signed for an extra year. What do you reckon, boys?
I saw on KO, the Matty Johns podcast with Cooper Cronk. I don't speak about it very often on here, but Cooper Cronk and Madge was on there. And just hearing about the way Madge was talking about fucking Joey Manu at fullback, and then me thinking back to like, because Madge coached him for New Zealand, and then thinking back to Joey Manu in the World Cup at fullback, and I was like, no one's even talking about fucking Joey Manu in there, who just is there a world where he is like going to go through his career never fully realising his potential because he's stuck in the centres?
Yeah, I mean,
You know? Like when you see him play fullback, you're like, this guy, he won the fucking golden boot, didn't he?
yeah.
At fullback.
Yeah. Oh, he's incredible at fullback. I think that he signed this contract recently till maybe 2026 or whatever it was. I think his next contract, he'll go and get that big money.
How
guy
old is
at
he?
Fullback. I think he's like 25, 26.
Okay.
About the
So
same age
he's
as
young.
Troll.
So he's not.
So he'd be in the prime of his life
He's young
when
and
he
hot.
comes up again.
Okay. See, for some reason I thought he was maybe in like your 27s.
I think he's the
28s.
same age as Trell or a year older, so 26, at most 26 years old.
It may be a case of what the climate looks like when he
26.
comes up,
Can
when
you
he
see
comes
when
off
he's
contract
signed
though.
still?
Like if you come off contract and all the big dogs are locked down at big clubs and there's only the shitters left, maybe just go, fuck it, I'll stay at centre.
Yeah, fuck
You
it,
know what I
man.
mean?
Life's too short. I've come here.
This seems to me giving him a 1 year extension. Like we don't want any more speculation about this Suoli'i and fullback fucking situation. So we're going to give you another year. Everyone shut the fuck up.
Does
No more
Suoli'i's
distractions.
manager start? Is he the one who, like, I mean, I know that the friend of the show, Mayo Man Buzz Rothfield, does like to, you know, drum up a bit of like, oh, they're against each other. He didn't pass to Tedesco on the
I can
weekend,
tell you
so
for
they
a fact
fucking
they're
hate each
definitely
other.
not.
Of course they're not. Of
Suoli'i
course they're not.
loves Tedesco.
Yeah, and even like when we had the cheese on the potty, he was like talking about how like much of a sweet human being Suoli'i is, and then also in the same breath that Tedesco's just like couldn't have spoken more glowingly about him just as people, right?
Because he didn't pass to him.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I love that shit though, right?
Like Suoli'i was running in an NRL game, was like, oh, fuck, it's Teddy.
Yeah,
Going
yeah, yeah.
left.
No, I want to be fullback in 2 years.
I tell you what though, credit where credit's due to the Mayo Man because he sees what others won't. or others don't, or others can't. And he goes, "There's a fucking yarn there.
Yeah,
There's a yarn there.
There's a yarn there.
As soon as it happened, he goes,
Yarn. And people are like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "There's a fucking yarn
Like that
there."
Leonardo DiCaprio meme went yarn.
So that's the artist in Buzz.
Yeah,
He's
you're
an
right.
artist,
That's the
actually.
genius.
He's an artist.
That's
And you
the
know
genius
what? There's a
in
bit of
him.
genius in you and seeing that he can see the yarn.
Well, there's
Yes.
genius in me.
Yeah.
We knew that, but there is
You're 3 for
genius
3
in
now.
Buzz.
You're 3 for 3.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I respect the fuck out of it. I really do, even though it's complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah. But
great.
but in truth though, with Suoliti, who's good, obviously, generational, obviously, and he was good at the World Cup at fullback, but he's not Tedesco yet. So like, who gives a fuck? Just let him keep playing footy. He's not Tedesco, and he might fuck off to rugby union. So let's stop wigging out.
He went to fullback
Whatever
in
will be, will
the knockout semi against the Rabbitohs last year, and he did look lost, to be honest.
Come on, mate.
So, I mean, the fact that he was going to replace Tedesco next year is absurd.
Yeah.
Joey Manu is contracted till 2024.
Okay.
Ooh, so Joey.
So next year.
Next year,
Last
yeah.
year. See, I like that.
So they'll be
Fucking leave,
talking.
Joey.
So we
Go
should be
somewhere
talking
else.
Joey Manu yarns
November 1 will
at
be-
the end of this year.
Yeah.
See, now this is where we uncover rugby league yarns, right?
Yeah,
we
okay.
are the Buzz Rothfields of our time, and that's what really we should be talking about.
The real conversation here is Joey Manu. And
Dude,
you've discovered
Joey
that.
Manu won the golden fucking boot, and he's off contract. No one's talking about it.
He's off contract next year.
Well, end of this year.
No,
know
you
what I
can
mean?
talk at the end of this
That's
year.
what I mean. We're talking about fucking Tedesco. He wasn't off contract until the end of next year or the year after or some shit.
Yeah, look, he's so young. Like people that try to like,
Dolphins will have money.
Fish.
Have you, speaking of the Dolphins, Dawn of the Dolphins, Stan original documentary series. Dawn of the Dolphins. Streaming now only on Stan. A new history starts now. Unprecedented backstage access to the master coach Wayne Bennett and how he's building the Dolphins in their inaugural season. I have watched both episodes that have been released. It's a weekly episode and it is fantastic. I'm not even saying that. Like, usually I watch like a documentary like that out of like
Obligation.
obligation to rugby league.
Because you're married to the game.
Because I'm married to the game. But in my head, I'm like, I'm so sick of talking about footy. I've talked about it so much this week. The Stan documentary is genuinely a good watch and yarn. And I honestly think any person that is a rugby league fan, regardless if you like the Dolphins or not, you should watch it because it gives you a really good insight into recruitment, what they do, how they go about it. It's fantastic.
How could you not like the Dolphins yet? Like, it's too soon to be like anti-Dolphins, right?
Way too soon. They've got to.
No one could possibly be anti-Dolphin.
If you're anti-Dolphin, the problem's you.
Yes. Yeah, you're a grouch.
Like you're
Unless you lost to Redcliffe in like a fucking Q Cup final one year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
which actually we did lose the Clydesdales. We lost to Redcliffe a couple of times, so maybe I've
I think you played soccer.
Played reserve grade.
Was that a soccer game? Did they also have a...
Did you play soccer?
I didn't go straight from
Is that
soccer.
part of your narrative?
Wow, it's been bubbling deep inside Eddie for a long time. Stan original documentary series. Make sure to check it out on Stan. If you don't have a Stan account, get one. It's got plenty of good content on there. And as I said, the Dawn of the Dolphins is absolutely fantastic. The insight is incredible. And also seeing some of the things that Wayne Bennett said a year ago come to fruition is it's seriously incredible. So give her a watch. Dawn of the Dolphins, Stan original documentary. Just quickly back to the Tedesco situation. Like people that are writing Tedesco, I'm not saying you're doing this, but people are saying that he can never be a good fullback. I just totally disagree. Like, got to give him time to grow into it.
Wait,
Billy
sorry,
Suoliti, you mean?
Suoliti.
Oh, sorry. People are saying Suoliti can't grow into a fullback. Like some people
Of course
think
he can.
that because the first few games he's played, his ball playing wasn't that good. I disagree. Like Billy Slater came into the grade, his ball playing was not good. He was a ball runner. He was a winger actually, and then he was a fullback. He worked on it and became great. And I think Suoliti can do the same thing. But
Who the fuck's saying that? That's wild. He's 19 years old.
yeah, some people have. But also, on the flip side of that, there is a world of difference between can be great and is great. Teddy is one of the greatest of all time. Suoliti, he may be one of the better players of all time, but
Huge ceiling.
It's-
Got to get there.
exactly, it's a world of difference. It's a world of, it's a whole career. There's 10 years of your life before you can claim that. So
Dude, in 10 years, he'll still only be 29. So,
it's crazy.
Isn't that sickening?
Yeah, that is. Makes you sick.
Now, Tommy Talau and Jackson Hastings, a bit of a brouhaha after the game last week. So Jackson Hastings unintentionally head-hied and broke Tommy Talau's beak on the weekend. Also set him off for a HIA. He was unable to return. After the game, Jackson Hastings was getting interviewed by Fox. And basically, after the interview, he turned around and he saw Tommy Talau. He walked over to him to say sorry. Tommy Talau was a bit fired up, gave him a jersey. He shirted him. Then Clemmer kind of came over and said he doesn't want to speak to you. I'll see you later. So this is the quotes from Jackson Hastings and the quote from Clemmer. Hastings, I went to apologise. I didn't realise in the game I collected him high. I went to knock the ball out to stop a try. I just tried to do the right thing at the end of the game by going up to say sorry. In the heat of the battle, he was still angry, which I fully appreciate. And then Clemmer said, I could see that Tommy didn't want to talk about it and some argy-bargy happened. I went over and said, leave him alone. He doesn't want to talk to you. That was it. The next thing, there was a security guard. I don't know him, Hastings, from a bar of soap. What do you reckon about that little stretch, boys?
That sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That basically sums it up for me. Like Hastings, you clearly was going to slap the ball out of his hand. You can see the motion of it.
Accidentally whacked him in the mush.
He got him on the mush, Tom.
It was a mush whack.
And I'm not here denying the mush whack. The mush whack happened. The mush whack is real. There's no conspiracy theory, no tinfoil hat around the truth. Talau's truth is the
Talau's
truth.
lived experience was that he got whacked across the mush.
Broke the mush.
Broke his nose.
He's dealt some with injuries, didn't he?
He was out all last year.
All
Yeah,
last year.
been
So
out
he's
of it,
probably a bit like fucking hell trying to catch a break.
Injury
Gets whacked on the
fatigue.
mush breaks.
Catches the wrong break.
So I can see why he'd be a little bit fired up at the end of the game. Clemmer, just being a protective father figure, you know, trying to protect his boys,
Well,
comes
a daddy
over.
of sorts.
A daddy.
A rugby league daddy.
Well, a daddy.
Well, you need daddies in your team as
Daddy,
well,
dad.
right?
Yeah.
You need some daddies.
Like, yeah, he'll hand out spankings when the boys are bad, but obviously when they're in, you know, when they're vulnerable,
Yeah.
he'll
Daddy will
go over
step
to
in.
protect them.
Yeah.
And that's what you see there. Because I was like, how the fuck does Clemmer know Hastings? And there you go. He doesn't fucking know him.
I
He's
was
just going over going,
from
fuck
a bar
off.
of soap. Not
a bar of
only
soap.
doesn't know him from a bar of soap. Like if you had a bar of soap and Hastings next to
he
each
wouldn't
other,
know.
he'd be fucked.
He'd have no idea.
He'd have no fucking idea.
He could be washing himself with Hastings.
Which should be a fucking sight to see.
Oh, that'd be a sight for sore eyes.
Swiping
Oh,
him
yeah.
through the bum cheeks.
Hastings.
Dude.
Jesus.
Clean that, would you, mate?
Yeah. That'd be tough.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough
So-
watch, but good content.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
I think you've nailed it.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
So you reckon as Clemmer was walking over, he's like, is
that a fucking bar of soap?
Is that a bar of soap?
Is that bar of soap starting Tommy Talau?
Is Tommy Talau trying to fight a bar of soap?
Which
Not
is-
on my watch.
No, fuck that.
Not on my watch.
They brought me to the club to stop shit like this from happening.
Like, and then Clemmer's just imagining the Monday newspapers going, fuck, on top of a fucking tough loss, Talau gets flogged by a bar of soap. And I didn't say anything.
And I did nothing.
And I stood back.
Yeah.
Nah.
So and then I'm going to have to front the cameras. Why did you fucking let that bar of soap beat the fuck out of Tommy Talau? Now, I've heard that.
Look, I'm back in Tommy Talau.
Yeah, I've heard Tommy Talau can throw him. Well,
Imperial
Same thing.
Leather can throw him.
Yeah, that's true.
Imperial Leather can throw
undefeated,
'em,
actually.
but-
Shout out to grandmas across the country. But Tommy Talau also doesn't want to be in the papers for bashing a bar of soap.
It's true.
Well, I don't think Tommy was going to.
Tommy definitely could.
Tommy was mouthing off it, you know.
Yeah, but if the bar of soap lips up, you fucking put one on that soap.
Yeah, you'd be confident in beating a bar of soap, surely. Surely.
Oh, jeez.
Then again,
Depends on it really does depend on the soap.
That's a good point.
If you got a nice creamy dove in front of you, you
Yeah.
flog that dove.
Yeah, you
that
flog Dove.
Dove's soft.
Yeah.
Imperial
Imperial
leather,
leather.
ooh,
Yeah.
tough stuff. Nah,
the hotel
goes all
stuff that
day.
it doesn't break,
Yeah.
that's
no,
tough.
that stuff goes all day.
Also,
that,
like-
that black and gold stuff,
Yeah.
ooh, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a dirty scrap. That'll bite you and
Well, that's
shit.
the thing you put in a pillowcase and beat the fuck out of people with in prison.
That's right. That's right, Tom. So we hear.
So we here. Haven't been.
But
Touch wood.
yeah, look, like the people that were like having a crack like at Clemmer, it's like that's it. Like if your teammate is in an argy-bargy with a bar of soap or with a Jackson Hastings, doesn't matter who is right or wrong. He's your teamate, so you're not going to go, "Oh, who's in the right or who's in the wrong?" You back your teammate. So
Do
I
you
don't
go? Do you though? Going off my immediate reaction when I saw it, I was a little bit like, it seemed like Clemmer escalated it.
Well,
His energy escalated it, where it was maybe they were having a bit of argy-bargy, as it was put, but it just felt like it was escalated. Whereas Clemmer could have been like, yeah, but because it's Clemmer,
But that's not really all he did, though. You just like
yeah, but
he
he was.
also-
You look at Clemmer's face; he's like,
Yeah, but like first of all, he saw Tommy Talau shirting.
Right.
This happens in a second.
No, I know.
And he's looking at the back of Tommy Talau. Like, he's always going to walk over when he sees his teammate pushing and shoving and be like, "Oi, piss off!" Like,
For sure. I'm not criticising.
Let's not
Daddy
forget.
Clem.
Let's not forget who this is as well.
That's-
This
of
is
course.
David Clemmer.
Yes.
Who's never looked relaxed in his life.
No.
He always looks stern, and they've just got fucking beaten against the Knights at home when they should have rolled them.
Well, it was one of the more disgraceful
Well,
games.
what
of
do you
regular
think-
Obviously,
football.
you're pissed off.
what do you like? What do you reckon an enforcer of yesteryear would have done in that
Flogged
situation?
him.
Bar Soap's getting fucking 200.
Bar Soap's getting bloody rubbed
I
out.
reckon there would have been a brouhaha. That's what I
And then
think.
people that don't like to admit it, but Clemmer is an enforcer. Like, I know people like don't want to admit it or whatever, but I haven't. Clemmer's not going to back down to people. Like, I
He didn't back down to Corey Parker.
I agree.
Tell him to
but
fuck
I,
off,
I
cunt.
guess I can see.
did.
I can
Disrespectful.
see the side of the argument where people are like, "You guys just fucking lost." It's like it's not. It's like again, at the risk of clutching some pearls. It's after the game, like, and they like Talau shouldn't have G'd up, Jackson shouldn't have G'd up, Clemmer.
I think you're underestimating the aggressive nature of rugby league players. Like, it is.
No,
it
I
is-
understand
This
it.
is
All I'm saying
such
is,
a non.
yeah, it's a non-thing.
This is a mountain and a molehill. This
Absolutely.
is who gives a
Your
fuck?
mate's in a argy-bargy.
Yeah.
You're walking straight over.
All
no
I'm
matter
saying
what.
is I can understand people criticising Clemmer in the sense of going like, it was. I felt like he fanned the flames of argy-bargy.
I
as
don't agree.
opposed
I don't
to-
agree.
I don't agree. I think that he did the
I don't
right thing.
agree.
If your teammate,
I don't think he did the wrong thing,
is
but
in
he
some
came in-
argy-bargy,
came
As
in
soon as
hot.
the whistle blows, like it's not like, oh, sweet, we're
Yeah.
all mates.
Well,
like there is still
99%
energy.
of the time it
No,
is.
that's not true. Not 99% of the time.
Hold on a second. So you're saying that more, like, quite frequently enough, you see this shit go on the field after a game? Because you don't. Because otherwise you'd see way more of it on camera. You just don't.
Yeah, but
That's
I
the
don't. But
reality.
I don't think everyone's fucking happy as Larry.
No, sure. But this, you don't see this happening.
No, it's true.
That's all I'm saying. It's just like, it's always.
But, like, what did Clemmer do,
classier.
though?
We didn't do. I don't even give a fuck about it. I'm saying that I can see where the pearl clutches are coming from in the sense of going like.
Clemmer
he
literally
didn't-
just walked over and said he doesn't want to talk to you, mate.
No. He didn't just do that. He's fucking. He's
So,
ju-
he
But
just
I'm
played
just
a
saying
game
there-
of footy. He's
Are
going,
you a pearl clutcher?
You're a
I'm
pearl
saying there's
clutcher.
a difference between going over and going, "Hey guys, chill," and going, "Fuck off."
He
guys."
just lost a game of rugby league at
100%.
Leichhardt.
Absolutely, but
You wanna
there are
be
people-
Like, excuse me, Hastings or Soap?
No,
Will you please?
Yeah,
could you walk over
Hastings
there?
or bar of soap. Could you please? I don't give a shit, but I can understand.
I see pearls, I
how
see clutching.
people. But I can understand how people are going like, "You look like a fucking sore loser." I can see that.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
that is beyond the pale.
In the
to be
teams
like,
I've
you
been
look like a
with,
sore
you
loser.
back your mate up no matter what.
I don't. Of course, you back your mate up, but you look like a sore loser doing it like that. I can see how people have that takeaway.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he broke his nose, and you lost.
But the losing part is
fucking-
irrelevant
and-
to me because I think the losing part is that makes you more of a sore loser. Like, you shouldn't be acting like a cunt because you lost. You can be defending your mate and going like, again, there could be way more to it that happened on the field. Jackson Hastings could have been a fucking pain in the arse all game. And you're going, fuck off, cunt. Like, I get all that, but just in the like specific moment that you see there, I just think I can see how the clutches of pearls clutch their pearls.
Look, obviously I think it's Tommy Talau should have waited until there's no cameras around. If you want to confront someone, then you go to Hastings and say, mate, what the fuck's going on there?
Disagree. They need to do it on camera so we can talk about it.
Also, I did hear someone else, and it was probably on another Fox show that I was watching, but they were talking about how, in the UFC, they don't interview concussed fighters, right? Because like they're a fucking bit all over the shop,
Yeah.
bit emotional. Tommy Talau concussed, HA wasn't allowed to come back on. There's an argument to be made that his emotional reaction could have been down to the fact that he was concussed,
Oh,
which
for
means
sure.
that you're a bit more like forgiving of.
It's not a big deal. It shouldn't have happened, but I don't think it's a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal.
Some people think that like it should be investigated.
Oh,
and
fuck
it's
no.
like-
Investigated.
yeah.
That's
Crazy.
not someone clutching pearls. That's someone
Jesus.
popping them into their asshole and pulling them out.
Khabib jumped into the crowd after he beat Conor and started throwing down.
Yeah, that's a blood sport, mate.
Like, and there's just oi mate, don't break me nose next
Who's
time.
investigating?
Yeah.
Who wants to
Don't make me mushy,
investigate
dog.
that? Yeah, you wake me mush, bro.
Make me mush. So
I tell you who wants to investigate that? Some bloke getting paid to investigate that.
Well,
He wants to
yeah,
investigate.
he
an
wants to
investigator that left the
An
comment.
investigator.
Yeah, investigators are like, fucking oath, bro.
That needs to be investigated.
Let's investigate the
PI.
shit out of that.
remember,
$300 an hour? I'll investigate anything for that price.
was it Investigadget?
Go.
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
That's why I was like,
Go
Best Stuff?
Gadget?
That doesn't
No,
sound
he would
right.
say Go Gadget.
How
like
many
whatever
gadgets? He had
is.
a lot of gadgets.
A lot of gadgets.
Unstoppable.
Inspector Gadget.
Would you
Inspector
say-
Gadget, he was like on the stock
One of
exchange.
the all-time cartoons.
Did he have endless gadgets?
I'd say so.
Or was there a cap to get the gadgets?
You know what was wild is that they had phone like watches that you could see people on, and I used to be like, get fucked.
holograms?
Now we
Do you
hear-
mean like the hologram?
No,
ones?
just like literally like a fucking iPhone or an iWatch. Or can you not see
I
people's
don't think
faces
so.
on Apple
can't
Watches?
see people's
No, I
faces.
don't think so.
I hate them just for not. I'm an Apple
You-
guy
you're-
now.
you
I
hate
hate Apple Watches, dude.
So you
I
hate the
reckon
people
you
who
wear
them?
one eventually.
I will not wear one.
I guarantee you. do.
Why do you hate one?
Because they're ugly. I like watches. Can't afford any
you're
good
a
ones.
snob. You're a snob.
But no, I just think they look like
You're a watch
shit.
snob. You're a watch snob.
No, because it's only Apple Watches. I fucking hate them.
So you're a watch racist.
No.
Why don't you can get them with different bands. You can get a cool band.
Dude, my missus has an Apple Watch, and I'm like, get that shit off. My sister as well.
Does she use it?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
She's like, I need it for a step counter. Same with Fitbits, though. Fitbits I fucking hate.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Very
I know.
strange. to
It
have
is
so much
weird. It's a, like
passionate hate.
it's a particular.
quite
I'm
passionate,
particular.
quite passionate.
I will say Apple Watches, they put you in a rude position because if you're talking to someone and you get a message and you go like that,
Yeah, how
they
many
think you're
fucking
looking,
things do I need to be contacted
Yeah.
by?
I don't think listen. This is just I don't own an Apple Watch, but just from an outsider looking in, it seems to me that the only value an Apple Watch provides is from a fitness perspective.
I also
You don't
think
need to read messages on your watch when you got your phone in your pocket.
I also
you don't
think they
need to tell the
age
time.
you,
You know
dude.
what I mean?
you're not moving and going that much that you can't just go.
if you are
Correct,
if you're a
correct.
man and you have an Apple Watch, you are definitely in a long-term relationship. That's what I think. You've taken yourself out of.
I
the-
reckon
the
single. I
dating
reckon
pool.
single guys can.
Yeah, but then
Fitness
maybe
guys.
you're a young
Yeah.
professional fitness guy then as well. But you're old. Like,
Well,
as in
I'll
you just
tell you
you're not
something.
young and fun and.
My
fucking-
missus got me an Apple Watch,
Why aren't you wearing it?
and I don't wear it.
There you go.
You know why?
Because you're cool.
Because I'm a fucking big dog.
You're a
that's why.
fucking cool big dog.
Because you're a big dog.
Yeah. You're a cool big dog.
No, actually, I always look at it. I'm like, fuck, I should wear that for fitness, and then I don't.
Nah, because
I can understand wearing it for fitness for
Well,
sure.
I'm gonna no, but we got Garmin's for that, bruh. That you still haven't.
That's snob.
replaced.
That's snob talk.
No,
Like,
that's marathon shit, dude. Sorry,
We ran
man.
one.
We ran one.
Have you run one?
Have you run a marathon?
Didn't think
Haven't.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some real athletes at the table here, bro.
42.12.
3 something. Yeah, which I actually ended up running 43 because I was zigzagging half dead. So whatever,
So how many Ks was it again?
like 43ish
43 Ks.
that I ran. But the marathon's like 42, but because of my
Oh, you zigzagging. Oh, is that what the Garmin told you?
yeah,
Are you doing it again?
fuck no.
I went for a run the other day and I was like, I don't think I'll ever do that again.
The run or the marathon?
The marathon.
Nah.
I was like, fuck, if I did go.
The most I've run since the marathon's 10Ks, and I've done it like that's now what I can do comfortably. But I'm like,
Long way, bro.
fuck doing like even 20.
20's all right. It's that extra 20 on top that fucks you.
Yes, but even just doing
20's
20
alright.
now, but as if you want to do, as if you could be fucked, you know?
Content.
There's not much content in the running game. I'm
Really?
telling you. Well, like you need to have for the marathon there was, and
Yeah.
then like just if you're going to run 20Ks, it's kind of like
Yeah, I don't think there's much content in just running 20.
nah.
The
I'd have to
20's
run
are all right.
100.
40's fucked.
40's disgusting.
Yeah, I'd fuck that shit.
Even 30's like manageable, but 40, oof, awful.
Catcher.
Awful.
Yeah. Anyway, not about us.
Now, Brad Arthur re-signs with the Eels. Eels have activated next year in Brad Arthur's contract, and he'll be on until the end of 2025. He will now be the longest-serving coach if he sees that out.
I love Brad Arthur. I like what he's about. I like his moxie. What I also like.
What
is
about his
that-
proxy?
Proxy's all right, not as much as his moxie. I think it's good for the Eels that their longest running coach in history is also going to be the longest running coach to have not won a premiership. I think it's a smart decision.
I think
What?
What, new year, new
What?
ripping on the Eels?
What? How many they
year.
won? How many they won?
how many have they won? I don't know. 4?
No, this year.
Well, no
games.
one's won anyone this year.
No one's won any games this year. I'm doing games.
Oh, you're talking games. I thought you were talking
games.
Prems. I thought you were talking Prems.
Well, Manly's got a shitload of those. I'm not worried about that.
It'll be fun to see the drums start to beat if they go 0-5.
Well, when
That
Manly
shirt
fucks them
slowly
tonight.
getting more unbuttoned. Or holy,
Holy shit,
bro!
dude.
I'm dribbling.
Dude, that is that is undone.
Are you trying to alpha dog me?
Wow.
You're trying to alpha dog me with that hairy
Well, he's
chest,
trying to
aren't
alpha
you?
dog everyone.
Yeah,
Look, I'm
geez.
I
fucking.
didn't even notice, bro.
I thought I had a few buttons
Shit,
undone.
look at that.
Look at this.
Shout out North Bondi Motorino. No.
Yeah, shout out to his friends.
Great shirt. I ripped mine.
Did ya?
Yeah. Fat. Dude, look at that.
Oh, look at that. Look,
dude.
honestly,
Dude.
put that down as far as it goes in, like where it is now.
What?
Look
That's
on
where
the
it
camera.
is.
Yeah,
that's
come on.
nearly down to your belly button.
No, belly button's in here.
Yeah, it's not far. It's closer to your belly
far.
button than your chin.
It's one. If I go 2 buttons, I'm there.
Fucking hell, I feel like I'm... See, I don't have the hair,
Undo
though.
one.
Mine just goes...
Yeah,
mine
undo
starts
one.
to get bald very quickly.
Undo one.
Undo one. Get let loose. Get the chest hairs out.
Do you like getting the chest hair out?
I don't have chest hair. I told you that. You know
We
that.
should do a show, though, where
Can
we're
I
all
say-
in
can I-
shirts
have
that
you
are
heard
very
this before?
unbuttoned.
What?
I'm just like, this is like a saying, right?
Okay.
A bird cannot nest in a tree with no leaves.
Is that legit true though?
That's legit true.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
That's a good point.
That's a great point. You got me there, Eddie. You got me there.
Holy shit.
Oh, God.
No, it's a huge point. We should
Brad
get Den in a
Arthur.
shirt. We should get... No, fuck Brad Arthur for a second. We should get Den in a shirt, you know, like so that you can roll
Yeah,
out
get
the
the chest
shirt
hair
with
out.
us as well. Don't we have like... Have you got one of your fucking bloke shirts you
Party
can put on?
bloke.
Put a bloke party shirt on. Come on, let's finish this thing strong. Come on, I want to see some chest.
No, we
Come
don't want to.
on.
That might recurse it.
You
might
never
recurse
get
the
your
club.
chest out.
Yeah, well,
Might
why would
recurse
I?
the club.
Yeah, I don't want to recurse. I don't want to mess anything up in regards to my physique getting released into the wild
I
again.
can understand being concerned
Can
about
I?
that.
What if I got this for you? What if I got you a t-shirt with chest hair on it, down to like here, and then we can just button it up?
Yeah, look, I'll.
So then
I'll-
you can wear the party shirt, and then you've got your little
Let's get
chest
some
hair,
just
fake
glue
chest
on
hair.
chest
Fake chest hair.
Yeah.
Can you get fake strap-on chest hair?
yeah,
dude.
Kush can.
Kush can.
So like a push-up rider would agree for blokes.
No, it's like hair extensions for
Yeah.
girls, but the bloke version.
Yeah.
And so blokes put it on and then put a shirt over it
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they go out, so they look like they've got chest hair.
Yeah.
There'd be a bit of cash in that, I reckon.
Because they know the
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah, they know the saying.
Good
which
saying.
I believe James Bond said. So you're in big trouble.
Did he?
I think so.
Wow.
Have you rolled that out before with the misso? Surely.
No, she says it to me. She goes, thank God.
She's nesting.
Thank God.
While she's nesting, right?
Yeah,
Now I'm
she-
going to have to ask the missus. I'm going to have to be like, oh, you're not attracted to me because I have a hairless chest.
Yeah. Like she's like I haven't met you. I've met her once, I think, and she's a beautiful lady, and I'm sure that she'll lie to protect your feelings.
Yeah.
But the truth will probably set you free. So
Yeah, probably break our marriage up, so I will be free.
Yeah, well, you will
you'll be
yeah,
free.
you'll
That's what I mean.
Brad Arthur re-signing. Yeah, I think it's of course like
It's good.
Grand final.
Yeah.
Good on him.
But do you think it was part of it to try and get Mitchie over the line? I'm not shitting on him now, but like...
Oh, I don't think Mitch was ever going anywhere. I will be shocked if he signs with another club. I think at the moment, Eels are probably offering him unders compared to what he's getting offered somewhere else, and that's the
Is
sticking
it
point.
unders that you think he's worth more, or just unders comparatively to what the
Probably
desperate
comparative.
Tigers-
Like I reckon, like let's say, you know, Eels were going to win a premiership and everyone had the same like level of 7. I'd probably have Moses around the 800k mark, 800, 900 max, but around the 800, just because like I reserve $1 million for if you've won a premiership or, you know,
generational throbber.
generational fucking crazy. Now, if he
Like a
goes
Tom Trebojevic.
a Tommy, but you know, there's an argument to say at the moment, you know, he's
Injury.
not he's not worth the $1 million because of his injuries or whatever. But I look, what he did that year is one of the greatest years of all time. So you'd
The
sign him for
greatest.
$1 million. With Mitchell Moses, I reckon 800, 900 is probably a good space to land for him. But when you're getting offered 1.4 reportedly from the Tigers, your value is what the market makes it, and
Yeah.
so fair enough.
Yeah,
get your $1 million
that, get the bag, bruh.
Get your cash,
I got a
bro.
question for you that Eddie and I posed to each other on the podcast that's currently out now. I believe we did. Because the Tigers obviously suck, right? No disrespect. And there was this Tigers dribbler who DM'd us and was like, we were talking about basically we should just send the Tigers back out to bush footy where they should just like, you know, earn their way back. And this guy was like, honestly, I love the Tigers and I'm a loyal Tigers fan, but I actually kind of wish that would happen so that I could support another team. But because I'm so loyal, I'm not a turncoat. I can't leave. This has a point. What I want to know is, would you prefer to be an Eels fan who hasn't won a comp in 5,000 years, or a Tigers fan who, whilst you won a comp in 2005, the preceding years or the following years have been so disgracefully bad that your soul is probably crushed to an inch of its life. Like, would you prefer to just not want a comp but be like a competing side that's good, or be a pile of shit and be the Tigers?
I'd rather be right now. I'd rather be the Eels.
I think so too.
I would rather be the Eels.
Right now?
Right now.
Yeah, because you can't... 2005 is what, 17, 18 years ago?
It may as well be 40 years ago.
That's a long time, bro.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
You can't live on fumes for the rest of your life.
No, you can't. You can't live on fumes for the rest of your life. So for that reason, you'd say the Eels, although, you know what? I'd pick the Tigers, and I'll tell you why. Science, which I trust, is very clear. Eels won't win a comp until the sun explodes, and that's in billions of years' time.
Yeah, right.
So I'm a Tigers fan.
So you're saying that because science has proven that the sun will explode before the Eels win a comp, they have not proven that for the Tigers, so there's a chance that you will at least live to see a Tigers
Correct.
premiership.
That's the magic. That's the math. That's the logic.
Okay. Adds up.
It does.
Now, Bartlett's Tavern Rockhampton is serving Bloke beer. Courtyard bars in Cairns and Townsville, both serving Bloke. And we will be at Rockhampton, the Great Western Hotel, tomorrow night. And Gilligans in Cairns next Friday, 6 p.m. to finish the regional tour. Now, we're going to have to probably get through this pretty quick, boys, because I got to shoot.
Where are you going?
I'm going down to Melbourne to interview Alex Volkanovski for Sportsbet.
Can you say good day to him for us?
He's a friend of ours.
Yeah, I'll say good day.
He choked me out.
Just say the boys say good day.
Yeah.
He'll know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be like, you choked him out.
Okay.
Just say the boys say good day.
Yeah.
The boys say good day.
Yeah.
That's
Say-
it.
And he'll
Say
say which
sup.
boys. And
I'll
you go,
film
you'll know
why I
the boys.
say it.
Say
Yeah.
sup.
And I say, you know.
Yeah.
He'll go, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let Vox know.
Cool. That's all.
That's all. Okay.
No big deal.
South vs Roosters. Who you got, boys?
Roosters.
South.
Oh, sorry, South. Fucking not Roosters. Jesus Christ. Not
South
the
for
Roosters.
sure.
South. Why didn't you ask us about Manly?
Oh, I don't know why the Roosters game was here. Oh, because it's Matty's a fucking
Matty's a
Rabbitohs
fucking
tragic.
idiot.
Yeah. Eels. Manly versus Eels.
Manly win, bro.
Win well.
Like, let's be honest right now. Let's be fair dinkum. And it's important to be fair dinkum when we're talking rugby league football. Manly win tonight.
Okay.
And they win well.
And they win well.
Okay.
And that is a fact of life.
Brad Parker 100th game, the ant goes over.
Turbo, back to his fucking dominating ways, just lurking around that ruck, baby, giving seed left
Shout out
and
to
right.
Random Stats Guy. He said when the last 4 or 5 times that Josh Schuster of Blind Rugby League player fame has played him 5 at the 5'8" position for the Manly Seagulls, Manly averages 34 points a game. We win.
Okay. I'm going Seagulls as well.
Yes.
Good. Knights Dolphins.
Fish.
Dolphins, baby.
Knights suck. No disrespect.
That's exactly what that was.
But how embarrassing though to be the Knights and the third game of the regular season you are already not the favourite to a brand new club who no one thought was going to win a game for the first
And the
fucking
line's
10 rounds.
5.5 points.
Yeah.
Which is not nothing.
No, it's not nothing.
I'm going Dolphins. Roosters, Rabbitohs.
Rabbits.
You want to hear a fun fact?
I'm going Roosters.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah, sure.
You know how I'm I'm good at digging up stats and shit.
Yeah,
This isn't a pattern. This is just stats.
Okay.
Red hot, raw stats.
Yeah.
We all know that Roosters start slowly, correct? Mm-hmm. In the last 8 appearances between the Roosters and the Rabbitohs in March, Rabbitohs have won 7 of them.
Where?
7 of 8. And the last time the Roosters won was 2017 when the Rabbitohs came 12th and the Roosters came 2nd that year.
Yeah,
So it was
okay.
a bad year for Rabbits fans.
Okay.
Every other year, Rabbitohs win. Rabbitohs going well this year. Roosters aren't. Rabbits win. Average winning margin, 15 points.
Rabbits love
15.
March.
You're welcome.
Wow. Okay, I'm going Roosters. Titan Storm.
Don't tell you I didn't tell you.
Hey, I'm happy to. I'm happy for you to go 4 for 4. So if you get it right, come in. I'll say you got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to bring me a present.
I think the Storm win against the Titans, but I'm not confident.
I'm not confident. I've never been
Less
confident in a game than this.
Storm. Yeah. Nass out as well.
I'm just going to go Storm. I'm just going to have to.
Yeah, I have to go Storm too. Cowboys, Warriors.
Cowboys humping,
Cows.
humping.
I don't know about humping.
No, I know. That's why I think it's a humping. So I was like,
okay.
I don't know about a humping, but I'm like, they've been kind of disappointing, the Cowboys. I feel like Todd Payton's going to be sticking.
But if you don't
things
know,
up
could
their
that
arse.
then be a Warriors win?
Nah, they're not going to win. The Warriors have lost their last 13 straight games in Australia, something ridiculous like that. So the Warriors are fucked.
I think Cows though.
Yeah, I'll go Cows. Broncos, Dragons.
I've got something to admit to you, Denon. I fucking really like the Broncos. Not the club,
Thanks, bro.
but like the team. I
Oh,
fucking
really?
love your team.
It's an
You've
exciting
got a
team.
fucking good side.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Like when you looked at them lined up against the Cows last week, it was like, oh fuck, they're a good team.
Yeah.
I hate saying it to you, dude, but I got to be honest.
Thank you. I
People
appreciate
think
it.
I'm lying when I come in here and it's all about just being a prick. I call it as I see it. The Broncos have sucked. I love the Broncos side.
They're hot.
They're hot, dude.
They're hot to trot.
Your forwards are good. Your backs are good. You got
Exciting
Reece
footy.
Walsh.
Oh, my
Were you
God.
beaten off when he was playing last week? You must have been.
You
right?
must have been.
You must have been
Yeah, I was
pleasuring
10.
yourself.
Come on,
Cut it
be
on.
honest.
I could cut it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have watched that.
You
honestly.
worked yourself into a state, didn't
My
you, big
missus
boy?
walked in and she was like,
Whoa.
"Fuck me."
You're
I'm
like, get out!
Not again.
she's like, "I'd rather you be watching porn."
Yeah, no.
I
no
said,
way.
this is porn,
baby.
This is porn.
This is porn.
That's what I said.
Ben Hunt never lost to the Broncos when he's been playing at the Dragons.
I'm going Bronx.
Same. I'm going Bronx.
Bronx win,
Fuck
though.
that stuff.
Bulldogs
win.
versus Tigers.
Now, this is a game. This is a
Doggies.
poo sling up.
Gotta go Dogs.
This is a poo sling up. But look, I like the Dogs beat the Storm, so it's not. It's a partial poo.
The Dogs didn't look like a poo side last week, though, at all.
No, they didn't. But they did against Manly, which maybe.
But
just speaks to
Tigers have
Manly's
looked like
greatness.
poo for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Dogs win.
Well,
Dogs
2
win.
weeks.
Dogs
Dogs
win.
like poo for 15 years.
Raiders, Sharks.
Sharkies.
Raiders.
I'm going Sharkies, but not bad value. Raiders at home, $2.19.
Raiders.
It's not. That doesn't like. It's only in the depths of winter when the Raiders at
9
home
in a
makes
row.
difference.
9 in a row they've won.
At home.
No, Raiders have beat Sharks last night.
Oh, really? Fucking hell. You
Nine.
Are you the new stat man?
9.
Holy shit.
Yeah, about even. He's trying to
Nine.
bloody-
You've got lost in the source of stats. You just fucking.
9.
He hasn't come close to winning about even the last 3 years, so he's kind of getting very desperate.
Oh, okay.
Very desperate.
Desperate?
Okay.
Very desperate.
There's been two seasons.
There's a belt on. There's a belt on the
2?
line.
Desperate
Well-
would be 40 years,
Well,
mate.
there were 2 seasons, and then there were some
You
post-season
cunts doing
ones.
about
doesn't
even in
count. That
40
was
years.
dumb.
Could you imagine you doing about even in 40 years?
And I still haven't won. That'd be sad.
Yeah, that would be tough.
You got grey hair and shit.
I've already
Well,
got
he's
grey
got
hair. So I don't know what I'd have then. Maybe it'll go back to fucking brown.
I'm going Sharkies. That is us done and dusted. Make sure to tune in to the Hello Sport Live tonight on Hello Sports YouTube. Anything else on, boys?
No. Just
ripping.
love the
tearing.
community in that,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, yeah,
All right, you know.
And as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.